Just a quick update. I think I've got this shiny application working for the Gaussian mix models. At least I think they got the mechanics working. I may not have everything mapped quite right. Doing a comparison just quickly a few minutes ago. Anyway, I was kind of glad to get this going. Let's see if I can show you one running. Just quickly, we've got a user interface, UI.R, that's just by convention in Shiny. We've got outputs here for plots in the main panel, and so far I've just got a button in the side panel where I'm going to put some more controls later. Got the server. This has all the functions you want to happen when the sections in the user interface by name. These are the names. You can say over here, this is the name, output, $, then the name. Then you say, I'm going to render a plot here. You can render text, render other things. I can't remember exactly. So these are just function calls. Just to keep this simple, I created a little helper.r function, or source script I guess you might say, that has anything outside of the functions are global variables or in the global environment. This has been the tricky part between calling these functions and keeping things that are dependent on previous functions running, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's probably a better way to do it, but I just wanted to get this running first, just to get a good idea of the structure I need. And instead of functions here, I've got what's called a reactive. That says this function is reactive to the user interface. So if something in the user interface is used over here, this part will update itself. So it's sort of a model view controller pattern, or a subject observer they call it sometimes. Basically you have something that subscribes to a producer, and every time that producer produces something, it sends out updates to its subscribers. So it's pretty cool. Alright, that's about it. Alright, let's see. If you go to either the UI or the server, your little, I don't know if you can see that here. There's a run app here instead of source. So if you look at helper, you can run it or source it, since it's just standard R file. But these are special. They know they're part of Shiny. So if you're in either one of these, you can say they run the app. Here we go. So this is the viewer inside of our studio. Putting a lot of output out here. It took me a while, obviously. I've been on this for, I don't even want to think about it. I'd have to look at my log. But this is the output, just to know what's going on, what I think's going on. It takes about, I think, a minute and a half to run. So you can see my action button over here. It doesn't really do anything right now. All those plots are in this main panel, but none of them have updated yet because all the global information is running first. So it pre-computes a lot of things that don't have to get computed over and over. They may end up have to be if we have some parameters in there, but we'll see about that. Okay. So it's done the GMM. It's done a box plot. It's going to do each day's group models. And then it's going to do the final models. Okay. So here we go. Got some early residual look at the data. The GMM clustering. It's a nice job by Sade here. The colors look nice, I think. These I would have never come up with, but I kind of like the way they look up on the screen. This needs a little bit of work. Obviously it's kind of mashed down so you can't see the full plots, but that's just a parameter for the output of the plot output function. Usually they do the right thing, but this one's It's a big, large grid graph, so maybe that has something to do with it. And we get the separate groups for each of the data sets. And the log2 versions of those. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly if I have these cluster cut points being done right. I need to go back and look at Saeed's code and make sure I've got it right. I've got his up here, the R Markdown version, so I can look at that and compare. So I don't think I'm looking quite right, so probably just a copy-paste problem in there somewhere. So, pretty cool. One thing to mention is these R Markdown documents. Theoretically, and I haven't tried this, but you can put widgets in this document. So you can create a different kind of sort of static HTML with some JavaScript controls in it, where you don't run a Shiny server. So to me that seems a lot better. You don't have to run the server, and somebody's got to keep that updated and maintained and all that. Not a big deal really, but you got to remember it. So I don't know which I like better. Kind of like the R Markdown just because it looks like a document, but the Shiny's pretty nice for its, you know, interactivity, obviously. So there you have it. Okay, that was my update. Hopefully this weekend I'll have this thing smoothed out and get some parameters in there to do some real interactivity with this thing. All right, have a nice weekend. See ya.